Welcome to a new Voltlog. Today we'll do a teardown of this watch which I got from eBay a while ago. The only thing that seemed interesting when I first saw this was the price, which was 90 cents delivered. I could not believe that you could get a wristwatch for 90 cents delivered from China. Like, no matter how bad it is, and believe me, it is very bad and low quality, still it feels impossible to get it delivered for 90 cents. And yes, it was true, because 2 months later I received the watch in my mailbox. Of course, it's the lowest quality possible. You can barely see the LED lights in the bright studio lights I have here. But it is a wristwatch and it shows the time. So if I had to guess, shipping cost is probably 20 cents for something this small from China to Romania. It's about 25 grams, let's say 30 grams together with the small padded envelope. This video is sponsored by jlcpcb.com, who recently upgraded their offer, so you now get 24 hours turnaround time and you can choose any solder mask color for the same price of just $2. Prototyping is now faster and cheaper, so it's definitely worth checking them out. Now, the small envelope has to cost something like 5 cents maybe, so that leaves 65 cents for the cost of the hardware, the commission the seller pays to the platform, which is eBay or AliExpress. Then there is the payment processor commission and the profit of the seller. This probably isn't the only item you can buy online where the economics just don't make sense for us, but I dare you to think about this. Even with China's low cost of labor and low cost of parts, I dare you to try and build something like this for 65 cents and sell it and still make a profit. I bet that's near impossible, but yet somehow someone is managing this. So let's do a teardown and try to do a BOM cost analysis for what we find inside this watch. So this isn't exactly waterproof. Now you can see the LEDs better. The back part of this assembly is left behind with the battery. The front part of the assembly contains these ridges to mask out the individual LEDs and prevent light from shining between individual LEDs. And this is our main PCB, so let's take a closer look at this. I've never seen anything like this before. Here is a picture with the top side of the board. And where are the LEDs, you might ask yourself? And I must admit, the first thing I did was to check the plastic molding piece in case there was a secondary PCB in there containing the LEDs. But it was clearly not the case. So let's take a look again. Here is a macro shot of the PCB. We can start to see some small features on the LED pads, which to me look like 0603 sized pads. Those small features definitely look like bonding wires, and that can only mean one thing. They've bonded the LED semiconductor piece directly to the PCB. They skipped the packaging process altogether. And if we zoom in even closer, we can start to see there is something placed on the pad, but it's so small that my crappy USB microscope cannot pick that up. But here is a picture where the LEDs are lit, and you can see how the individual LED dies are placed on one of the pads, and then the wire is bonded to the other pad for connection. That's truly unique, and I haven't seen this being done before, but that's how they can keep the cost down. And there are only two other parts on this small PCB. One is a crystal, which is needed for timekeeping, and the other one is a microcontroller, where once again they saved cost by bonding the silicon die directly to the PCB and putting this blob of black epoxy on top for protection. So to sum this up, I would say the microcontroller cost is about 2 cents, the crystal is about 2 cents, the battery, let's say, I don't know, 1 cent. The LEDs, I believe there are 25 LEDs in total, and they probably cost 2 cents in total. I'm not sure, but I think bare dies of LEDs are pretty cheap. The PCB is very small at just 2 by 2 centimeters and thin, and in large quantity it probably costs something like 3 cents a piece. We also have a bunch of plastic parts molded for the enclosure, a few metal parts. I would say these are probably about 10 cents in total. So that's a total of 20 cents in parts, but you need to add some labor costs for the development of the product, the PCB assembly, the bonding of those wires, the programming of the MCU, the final assembly of the watch, and testing. And here I might be way off, I don't know, but I would say at least 20 cents in labor cost is required to build something like this, which would bring our total to 40 cents. And that leaves about 25 cents for profit and other commissions to be paid to the selling platform. Not a lot of margin, but clearly someone has to be making a profit with these, otherwise why would they bother? This particular model is not available anymore. Like I said in the opening of the video, I got this more than 1 year ago, but there are still sub $1 digital wristwatches available on eBay right now, and they look even better and nicer than this one. At least in the photos they showed, they do look nice. It could also be a case where it did cost more to manufacture these, but then they couldn't sell them for a profit, so they are instead selling them at a loss just to recuperate some of their investment. I would love to hear your thoughts on this matter, whether you think my calculation is right or wrong. Let me know in the comment section below if you think the cost of something should be different than what I guessed in the video. That was all for today. I hope you enjoyed it. It was certainly interesting for me to see the actions they took to save cost on this product. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you next week with a new video.